What's happening, everybody? Time for some more comic book news, just in case you missed it. So, I was just scrolling around on Twitter earlier, as you do, and I saw this gorgeous image of Supergirl done by my man, Stanley Artgerm, fantastic creator, artist, and I was really trying to figure out what the hell this was, scrolled a little bit, and I saw his variant for Death Metal #3, which is supposed to drop mid-August, and I haven't paid attention to any of this Death Metal stuff I've seen. I think this is probably the second or third cover I've even seen from this. Again, just his variant for issue #3, and I was thinking, how did I miss this? And I went back to look at pre-order stuff, and I saw it was there. It just the image hadn't been revealed yet. It just said Artgerm, but I completely skipped over it when I was doing my pre-orders because I just skipped over the Death Metal stuff because, again, I had no interest in this, but I want this book. I might need one or two of these because it's absolutely gorgeous. Artgerm has done several of Supergirl Rebirth variants in the teens, and I don't know if he got too far into the 20s. I think his last one was for issue 20. Could have been 21. But they did a bunch of those variants there, all dope. What can you expect from Supergirl? What I also found out was Supergirl's his favorite superhero. Like, how incredible is that? Dope artist, good taste. So I need this Supergirl variant, Death Metal #3. Go check this out. Just take a look at that. If you're into Death Metal, let me know what you think of it. And I think has the first issue dropped already? I have no idea. Again, I'm not paying any attention to any of that stuff, so I don't know what's going on with it. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. The other piece of comic news that dropped today was the bombshell that the Alien and Predator franchises, those comic book rights, are over at Marvel right now. Since Disney has acquired 20th Century Studios, I think they were 20th Century Fox, I think they're just 20th Century Studios now. So those rights are eventually just going to go over at some point. So we now have Alien and Predator in the House of Mouse. This is huge. Two more franchises that Dark Horse had been licensing forever, at least since, 88, 89, I believe. So those are over at Marvel now. And we just saw Conan's been back with Marvel since, it's been a couple years now, I think. 1 or 2 years since Conan's been back at Marvel. Of course, if you didn't know, the comic books of Conan originally started in Marvel in 77, 78, after years of being published in larger magazines. Marvel did the first comics, so Conan's back where he originally began, comic book form. Now we have Alien and Predator over there, and of course they're just showing this promo art here, which was done by David Finch, and this was again just for promo material. So they said don't expect anything crossover wise, which I don't anticipate either, as I said in some tweets earlier. But I could see the same way that Dark Horse did some smaller maybe crossover miniseries ever so often, because you saw Batman and Superman tangled with the Alien and Predator for a couple different miniseries. So I could see that happening just in some small, maybe 4-issue miniseries, and just kind of in their own little separate kind of timeline kind of thing. So I could see that happening. I don't expect them to do or join the wider Marvel universe as Conan has with Savage Avengers. So we'll see what's happening with that. I just think that was just kind of interesting to see. And also for the movie fans, hopefully they can, now that Disney owns the movie studios, maybe we can finally see those franchises get back on track, because I'll say this here, the only good AVP movies are Alien, Aliens, Predator. I like Predator too, I don't care what anybody says. Predators, and the first AVP. I thought that was actually a good film. Everything else you can scrap. The last, The Predator, everything after Predator, Aliens 2, just scrap it all. The only thing cool about Alien Resurrection was the way the Xenomorphs look. I like that jet black look, and I thought that was dope. Everything else in the movie was terrible. So just scrap everything else, focus on those movies, and just bring those properties back to where they were. Now, comic-wise, what can we expect? Just telling new stories, so who knows what's going to happen, when they're actually going to begin doing stuff, what creators could be involved. Who would you like to see work on Marvel series of Alien and Predator? What kind of stories would you like to tell? Because there's a lot you can do with those two universes. Those worlds have been expanded in the movies, video games, and tons of comics. I will also say I didn't actually care for a lot of the stuff that Dark Horse has done in this past decade. They produced a lot of miniseries with Aliens, Predator, AVP, and then Prometheus, and some of the I just didn't care for a lot of that stuff. like just story wise, just even purely for the art look. I just didn't care for the look for a lot of those books, and there was just a lot lacking, a lot left to be desired. So hopefully we can just kind of get a nice little shake up. But I thought this was a huge move. Wanted to talk about this just in case you hadn't seen the news. It'll probably start spreading again more. But yeah, also, what do you think about that promo image? Just Predator atop Avengers Tower holding Iron Man's helmet. And I don't know if you can tell. It's hard to tell. If you probably zoom in, you can probably see it. It looks like maybe Iron Man's spinal cord is still kind of attached in there. So we'll see where that goes. But again, it was just some promo art that they had David Finch do. Just kind of cool stuff. A great teaser to just kind of welcome Alien and Predator franchises, comic franchises over to Marvel. So we'll see what happens with that. Let me know what you think of the news there. Again, the Artgerm variant, Supergirl, his favorite superhero, one of my favorite DC characters, Death Metal #3 out mid-August, and then Alien and Predator over at Marvel now. What do you think? What are the possibilities for that? So, drop us a comic book news. Let me know what you think of all of that. Happy reading, happy hunting, happy collecting. This is GENOTHADRAGON. Thanks for watching, and peace out.